How do you distinguish between evil and someone who is legally insane? Let's bring in my psych dream team today. Psychotherapist, HLN contributor, Dr. Tiff is with us. And joining us from Boston, Dr. John Sharp, a psychiatrist and Harvard Med School faculty member. Great to have you here as well, Dr. Sharp. Let me begin here, because this is a question a lot of people have. If you're sitting down with someone, is it possible to tell? What would you look for to figure out that this person is in some state of mind where they can't tell right from wrong, which is the legal test for insanity, Dr. Sharp?
Vinny, it's a great question. You might feel it. You might feel that there's a tremendous disconnect that's going on within this person. Someone has to be really psychotic, so they're out of touch with reality. You might see it because they're looking all around, or they can't follow your train of thought. You can't follow their train of thought. You'd have to be really crazy in everyday speak, either because of a mental illness or because of such use of alcohol or drugs. Something like PCP could do it. It ought to be pretty clear.
Dr. Tiff, in the Andrea Yates case, and another one that we highlighted yesterday, Deanne Laney, those parents both thought that they were saving their children when they killed them. And to me, that's the big difference. And I don't know if that's going to be a part of the Schoenecker trial. I don't know what she was trying to save there. But to me, that seems to be one of the things that differentiate it from these other mothers who've killed their children.
Right. You'll see a lot of different reasons, but they're generally about 5. Sometimes it's just an altruistic kind of thing where I'm going to kill myself and my children will be better off in heaven with
Well,
me.
your mic is not working. Is Dr. Tiff's mic's not working? Oh, we're going to try. You know what? Just hold that. I'll go to Dr. Sharp on it as we fix your mic. Dr. Sharp, the women who think they're actually saving their children.
Right, there's usually a rationale to it. So if a mother's so far gone that she thinks she's saving her children from a wretched fate, if she thinks that somehow in her mind death is better than this life, that's one dynamic. Another dynamic, Vinny, is revenge. A lot of times mothers who kill are trying to get back maybe at the husband or somebody else. So there are evil motives. If it's the former, it's probably because they're crazy, because they're psychotic. If it's the latter, they're much more likely to be culpable, I think, in the law.
Yeah, and jury is going to make. Is your microphone working? Is your mic working?
Yeah.
It is working. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, Andrea Yates and Laney, these are two women found not guilty by a jury. A jury is regular folks who just want to say, hey, she didn't know right from wrong.
Right.
But when you see the planning.
Right.
And the Schoenecker case, she's purchasing a gun like 5 days ahead of time.
And that's what's going to make her case a little bit different than some of the others. With Andrea Yates, there was a lineage, a time frame. You saw a lot of psych treatment go on for years and years and years. And you saw that her psychosis got progressively worse with each child, which is what we see in postpartum psychosis and even depression. The more children you have, usually those symptoms are going to get a lot worse. With this, she killed her teenagers, and that's very different than someone killing a tiny, tiny baby, a newborn, or even infanticide, an infant. When you're killing a teenager, it's very different because they are able to fight back, they're able to run, they're able to defend themselves, they're able to go and tell someone. So it's a very different case here, Vinny, than if she was trying to kill someone that was helpless and vulnerable.
And Dr. Sharp, in the Schoenecker case, you've got teenagers, and there's evidence that she is fed up. Right?
Yeah.
She's tired of driving the kids. They're talking back. They're not eating their dinner. So
and what parent isn't?
Right. What parent isn't? Is it possible, though, to be so fed up that you then have a break from reality?
Well, we, in listening to this, hope that that's the case, because otherwise there's no way morally to understand. She might have been pushed by her depression, by her bipolar disease, by her substance use. These are all matters that she's made on record. And you can become very frayed and short-sighted and make mountains out of molehills and be stuck in the present, but that doesn't make you take a gun to your daughter's head and pull the trigger. It just does not add up to anyone with morality.
And with that much mental health care that she seems to have had, she kind of knows the lingo, you would think that if she's seeing a therapist, they're teaching her some coping skills to deal with that type of short-temperedness and all of that. So this shouldn't be the first time that she's had a blow-up with her kids and then she just reaches for a gun.
Let me ask you, Dr. Tiff or Dr. Sharp, either one of you, is narcissistic personality disorder enough to make you kill your kids?
I would say, I don't know what Dr. Sharp would say, but I would generally say not. That's more of a personality disorder, and usually it's focused, the focus of narcissistic personality disorder in and of itself is me. I'm thinking more about me than I am about anyone else. That in and of itself isn't going to. You're looking for more of an antisocial personality disorder. That's mostly what you see with some kind of sociopathic behavior, and those are more of the people that you would see to kill.
Go ahead, Dr.
Yeah.
Sharp.
I agree with one. Thanks. I agree with you, Dr. Tiff, with one exception, which is that the key thing about a narcissist is having zero empathy. So a really, really hardcore narcissist with no capacity to feel might get into some headspace where, you know, they can rationalize killing their own child. But again, it's so extreme, so extreme, you hardly ever see
And
it.
Darren Kavinoky, when you talk about narcissism, that's not going to be a defense in a court of law. No. That does not equal legal insanity.
No.
No. The hallmark of legal insanity is somebody who doesn't even appreciate that what they're doing is wrong. So, for example, I worked on a case where we were toying with the insanity defense. It involved a shooting, and the defendant actually picked up the shell casings that were kicked out of the gun afterwards. Just that act of picking up the shell casings evidenced enough of a consciousness that what they had done was wrong, that it completely gutted that defense. And for all of the publicity that insanity gets, it's only offered as a defense in about 1% of the cases and only successful a fraction of the time. So a very difficult row to hoe.